Welcome to the Stay Hungry podcast, where we bring on great guests with great stories and hear their advice. Today we have Joseph Malan, who also is my brother. So,
hey.
Welcome, bro.
Nice to be here.
This is my first podcast ever.
This is an awesome experience. I mean, I think that there's so many just day-to-day mundane stuff.
Yeah.
And you have to mix it in with something unique like this every once in a while.
Because here you have like the cameras, the mics, the soundproof wall. So it feels a little bit more, I don't know, just different. You don't do this on like a daily basis. So
no, this isn't whipping out your phone.
I've known you for 20, you're 4 now, right?
24, yeah.
So I've known you for a while, but we don't do this a lot. Like the deep conversation, just getting to know you.
I mean, it's true. I think that you're always going to find out something about someone if you just spend a little bit of time and maybe get a little creative. That being said, I do not have prepared.
I don't have any notes.
Yeah.
I have no notes, no questions. There's no like agenda here, so this could kind of flow. I wanted to start though with Kid Joseph. We'll say just like the younger years. So like maybe you're 6, and maybe to like the 12 years old. Like what was Joseph like back then, you think?
Well, 6-year-old Joseph was, apparently still getting his cheeks pinched by the grandmas at the stores.
I think you were called Pumpkin. Was that my name or your name?
Pumpkin was my name. Apparently, I was the roundest out of all of us somehow.
Your head was, I think, massive. No. I was called String Bean.
Yeah.
I think, and you were Pumpkin.
Did Jonathan get a nickname?
Jonathan had no nickname at all. It was just Jonathan. Actually,
last child. They
was the miracle blue-eyed baby. That was his thing.
That's a whole nother thing we could go on about the whole blue eye thing, but obviously I'm biased.
So you were Pumpkin until probably that changed though for you.
Yeah. I don't know. I obviously I didn't have much control of that for the early years. I think that the way that Dad kind of did his back and forth and the way that he wanted to address his health, it definitely affected us. Remember being vegetarian for over a year? Vegan. You're right, vegan.
I was vegan for I think 2 years. Y'all were vegan, I think, for a few weeks.
No, I was dedicated. I know for sure I was at least in that 8 to 9 month area. I thought I actually got over a year.
We watched that one movie, remember it? Like a documentary about processed food and how it's bad for you. And so we all watched that and then thought, okay, we have to change our lives now.
I see. The thing that sucks with that is there is so much truth to it, but the convenience is hard to deny when it comes to processed food.
We went from processed food to just being vegan for everything. So we would order pizza without the cheese on there. Remember that?
I was going to bring that up if you didn't, dude.
Yeah.
If you've ever had pizza, just crust and sauce, man.
The vegetables, sauce, that was it.
I remember being grateful that we had squash slices added to a pizza, man. That was pretty rough. The bread was rough.
Ask them for that. They always pardon. They're always kind of question you because no one does that for pizza.
Yeah, I remember getting a few weird looks. I think some people were sad for me, and I think that's fair.
Well, it was that and the candy. So we would sell our Halloween candy back to Mom and Dad.
Oh yeah, but $5 a bag. $5 a bag. We knew that was not a steal.
Back then, though, we weren't
getting money.
And then we jumped from that to selling the candy at our own prom, or we did the little stand at Friday Lemonade stand.
That's a whole nother good little rant. That mini prom right there, dude. Do you remember how fast we were running door to door when we were getting that candy? Because we wanted to make sure we got as much as possible for those candy bowls.
We were 16 years old.
Because those candy packages were expensive.
They're pricey. But we were 16, and we were sprinting from door to door on Halloween night. And then prom was, I think, at the first week of November.
Oh, and we organized it all together, and we had that prom almost, instead of red carpet, remember you were trying
Hollywood,
to well, it was Hollywood, but remember when you were trying to get it to go for zombie theme and Briley was just oh hell no. She was was like, I'm out if you guys do this.
If Riley sees this, you like maintain that whole prom. She took it at the next level.
No,
We didn't really have a lot of thoughts about it, but she got the red carpet.
She did the sign all by
Hollywood
herself,
sign.
didn't she?
Yeah. We had a DJ
I don't think we did
there,
anything.
photographer, chocolate fountain. It was a big deal.
Okay, well, we kind of reached out as far as the DJ and the photographer goes.
That's true. Actually, that was all you.
And yeah, it was. And the chocolate fountain, I figured that out as well. Wait, what did you do, bro?
I've had the mastermind.
I'm just messing. We were both
Actually,
pulling our
remember,
time in
it
seminary.
was, Riley Moore, if she's watching this. It was Riley Moore.
Whoever's here.
Thought, you know what? We're going to try and win her over. Because I don't know if you remember this. We had our normal prom, but that someone else asked her out. So I thought we'll make our own prom and kind of go around the dad here.
And my motivation was I was down bad to have a mini prom because I wasn't allowed to go with Monica to
think you were grounded.
the next prom.
Weren't
Yes.
you grounded or something? Something happened where you couldn't go to prom.
I think I was grounded for like a whole summer or something because of like C's or whatever. But anyways, I wasn't allowed to go to the next prom with
Yeah.
Monica. So yeah, our little loophole was, hey, what if we made one?
We had to put the turnout. I think we had 10 couples.
Yeah, it
I
was.
think that's about 10 couples.
It was something like that.
It was a strange
And-
prom because Tristan, he had like a little volleyball game going. So we had like the string of lights and had, like a ball going over the.
Oh, that's
lights.
right. Yeah.
And then those lights fell down mid prom. It was kind of crazy.
Dude, and the fact that we happened to place it on the day of actual prom.
Was it really?
Oh yeah, so I love this because I've mentioned this like a time or two to you, and you're always surprised because I did think the turnout was decent. Our turnout would have been way more. We did it the same
Why did we
night
do
as
that?
high
Was
school
that
prom.
My choice, or why did we do that?
We didn't know.
be fair,
I found out about this after. People
First
were like, "Why'd you
reference.
do it on this
We
day?"
were homeschooled. We didn't really know the dates of the school very well.
Not at all.
So I didn't know it was the same day.
Dude, I wonder how many times people like saw us stand up in seminary, tell them about the day, give her a little quote, you know, like.
Oh yeah, the
and
quotes on
we
the
did
whiteboard.
it every day, and nobody was like, "Hey, bro, that's the date that prom
know.
is." I know.
I had
Nope.
no idea.
I really.
Because remember how you had like a whole team. It was me, you, Dad. We had Briley. What's like helping us out? We had
Some of the other adults.
out a little bit.
Dude,
but
I felt bad for the photographer the most.
nobody did it. Right?
I don't think I did.
I think
I did
you were
because-
the only person, because I didn't do it. I think she was kind of standing there the whole night, and usually
It's so sad.
she charges a lot of money, but she was like, you know what, it'll be free for you guys.
That was so cool of her. And she brought the backdrop. She brought her expertise and everything. I think I was like the only one that did it. I don't even know where those photos are. I'm lost in some email void, like the rest of everything
This
else.
was all in Maricopa, right?
Yeah,
And then
all
you moved
Maricopa.
later on to Casa Grande, and then back to Mesa.
Well, that's quite a jump we're doing there,
Just
but
kinda
yeah.
Going through.
Yeah.
Tell us more about Kid Joseph. Let's
Oh,
get
yeah.
a little more into it.
So, Kid Joseph was very, very locked into a lot of emotions, cared a lot about what parents thought, of course. Any Christmas, birthday, or otherwise, you best believe I'm asking for a Lego set. I mean, that was my bread and butter for the longest time. For the longest time. I hope
Yeah,
that's
you were
not
a Lego
true.
guy for a while.
A really long
Like,
time.
Our closet had the whole room was full of Legos.
Yeah, like I had my own space, and if you guys like stepped on Legos, I sort of cared, but not really. Like I was just like, you guys know where my Legos are. I still don't know where that treasure chest is.
I think you threw it away.
Did I? Did
So-
it break the top? Is that why?
Either it broke off, or we were moving to a different house. And we just threw it away.
I mean, it was a treasure chest at least this big, and like this long, and it literally had a like a Pirates of the Caribbean symbol on it. Grandpa Tryon made it. I remember that. I can't remember if he made it specifically for me or if he just made it and it got passed down, but that thing, and I had hours. I mean, I don't know. I felt like my creativity really flowed. Sure, I'd probably just make like a mech suit, a plane, a building, a battle scene, you know, some kind of things like that. But I mean
that was
before
the thing, though, for sure.
Before we had phones, before we were like, I was just scrolling all the time, or trying to find some kind of different event. I mean, I found myself really happy with that. I would build the set in like maybe an hour, probably less, and then after I thought it was cool and decided to mess around with it, I'd break it like immediately and just create my own thing.
That was your thing, 'cause I think you want to be like an architect.
I did.
And then it was stem cell, but for a long time it was the architect.
Stem cell takes me back, dude.
But yeah, that was like your thing for years.
I think I always wanted something to 16, to placehold what I was like. I don't know when maybe you started doing that. But like kind of have like an empty slot for your dreams, or like what people ask that you're working towards, or what you want to be. Maybe I felt like I tried to fill that in too fast. Like I knew what I actually wanted. I think I was actually more interested in having an answer for people than having an answer for myself. It took me a while to realize that the things that I was listing off, I wasn't actually really wanting to do.
The stem cell was more for Dad, right?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, Dad would push how relevant it would be in our field, how open. I mean, he would just talk about how we have family members that work in it, and
right.
And, you know, I do appreciate science. I think it's very interesting to study science, and stem cells being able to be manipulated to just form into a whole lot of different cells. I thought that was really cool. I was like, yeah, I'm sure there's some really good uses for that. But I did not.
It wasn't you, though.
No, I mean, it wasn't something that I really dug super deep into. I think it was more like an appreciation, maybe like a hobby, you can say. But
so
I don't know the full use.
From that, Joseph, to the current one where you have more like your own say. You know what I'm saying? Where you have your own, not destiny, but you have like your own path where you're trying to shoot for. Whereas that, Joseph, a lot of it was guided by parents, friends, of what he wanted to do for his career and for his life.
I think that Joseph started coming out more when I was pulling back on feeding other people's attention. And I still will do it, of course. I still will people please, or I still will, like, you know, for the sake of conversation. But I think really once I was around like 19 and I left home.
That was a big one, I think, because then it was all on you.
It was. That was the key thing. I was no longer needing to fill that space with something. I was allowing myself to say, I don't know. I think allowing yourself to say, I don't know, in many situations is like one of the scariest things you can do.
Well, because you're penalized in school if you say, I don't know.
Yeah.
So you have to lie to people about the answer, about saying what you want to be.
I mean, people say to fake it till you make it, just choose something. A lot of people will just jump into school for something.
Get all this debt then.
Get the debt and not like it.
This pressure to pick one career path when you're 18 and then just do it for the next 50 years and die.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
That's a whole different thing. I think that the way that we are... This conversation so far, as far as like little Joseph turning into like current Joseph, I think it revolves around expectations and social norms. Because, you know, if you expect to get into a house, you're going to need to have a job that is able to handle that payment. If you expect to be able to handle that payment, you need to choose something that you are willing to do for 30 years plus, stay in one spot. And I do think that is monopolized on us. Like literally, we're not the ones that own most everything here. The path to ownership is pretty long and expensive, and I think that honestly it's a little bit of a trap in the assumption that it is the automatic way to go. Right. I think that it is nice to be able to own, but there's a lot of people that are rushing their lives so much so early to get to that point that it kind of burns them out, or maybe they don't even find the thing that they're passionate about because they just go find something that makes money, but maybe just enough to pay the monthlies, and people aren't passionate. And I think that's really sad. I think people need to spend time kind of in that middle space where they don't know. And I'm sure we all can relate to being there. But for you to not have to have something that is working.
Exactly. Be able to chase that passion.
Yeah.
So let's say for you, if it wasn't about money, just about like just straight passion, like what you want to do, do you have like your own like answer for that, like right now for like your stage of life that you're in?
Am I good at what I do, or am I just doing?
No, let's say like just passion. like something that kind of draws you, like kind of like calls to you. I think we all have our own different things that maybe are calling your name in the future. Because right now you're 24.
Yeah.
Maybe when you watch this, you'll be 50. So I'm just kind of curious, where do you want life to kind of go?
It's a great question. I mean, I think that if I were able to do it, I would love being able to get into the music event and just kind of EDM scene in general. What I really like about it is it does vary depending on where you go, but you have openness of careers. I mean, they're hiring food catering, they're hiring safety staff, they're like EMTs, they're hiring people that are funding the events, or just there's so many different roles and connections. And I just recently did a ranger position in at Decadence, and just to get like a kind of taste of the industry in a way. And I can say for sure that getting paid to rave versus paying a few $100s, it's like little hacks like that I think if you could apply to your hobbies, you're kind of learning life there, because there's people that go their whole lives paying for those concert tickets, paying for everything, but as like a ranger, what you're doing is you're walking around and you're making sure that everyone's like A-okay. Like I'll pick somebody up and take them to like a first aid tent if they're really out of it.
So you have those little golf carts?
Some of us do. I mean, I only saw like 2 golf carts going around. I mean, that's on purpose though, because I mean, when you're in like a tight pit of people and you see someone's kind of messed up, you need to be able to reach them. You can't like honk your way through that, you know.
Well, I'm sure they won't like you if you're honking at them constantly. It's probably a no-go.
I mean, probably not. But I would seek to make that fun, probably. I mean,
I'm sure there was a way you could honk at them and they wouldn't hate you for, if they're drunk enough or something, it'd be like, hey, you know, like kind of like a party kind of vibe.
Beep, beep, hey, but actually we got to get to that guy, beep, beep. Like,
but you were doing like the whole like Polaroids too, so you were like, half doing it, so you like sell them and then that'd be like working there at the same time too.
So sorry, like sorry buddy, what's up? So the Polaroid thing hadn't started at that point yet.
Oh, so this was later on you did that.
Yeah, Decadence, that was New Year's. That was New Year's Eve. And I wanted to stay in that kind of scene, which is why I picked up the Polaroids. I take the Polaroids of like so many different people in their groups, and I know like nothing about them. I'm just reading their vibe and their energy. I could get a couple that's like all cutesy. I could see a group of the boys that are doing something chaotic. I could see someone up on
stories of like when you're doing that and it just gets kind of out there, because you're in like the pit, like you're
a lot of drunk people, a lot of
drunk people.
Yeah, tons of I mean, weird poses, people.
We'll keep it PG. We'll keep it PG.
No, yeah, I know.
I could get canceled here.
No, don't worry.
Episode.
It's a one and done, folks. Okay, this mic loves me. I'm just gonna.
It's like going towards you. It's like a little magnet. It's like,
is there a way to kind of hold it?
I'm brand new.
Oh, you know, I got it.
Oh, there you go. I didn't know that. I had like tightens like that.
See, and that's
now you're like this. You have to like the whole podcast.
You're right.
Head up, right?
Let's see if I can. What is the balance here?
Does that work? As long as you feel comfortable. I don't want you to feel like your neck's getting like a surgery because you're having to strain it.
Nah, I'm comfy right here, and that little dial's still moving, so we're chilling.
Yeah, you're doing good.
Honestly, well, I don't know what I can say without getting canceled.
Oh, so it's like pretty out there. Most like I think, to be fair, if you're going clubbing, you have like a good time. You want to kind of get out there.
You're gonna see substance use for sure. And that will range a lot depending on the place that you are.
There's tiers of different.
There really is. There's
we don't need like the tier list. We don't need like.
No, we don't. We're not gonna go over.
Walk us through the different tiers. Ladies and gentlemen, here's
what I will say about the tiers is you will find. With some tiers, it is easier to get a Polaroid than other tiers.
Because they probably might remember you being there. It's like, because
I hope they remember me.
I'm like orb. You're like floating in the air.
I genuinely hope that they can see me fine and they vibe with me fine. Yeah. My goal is not to like catch somebody that just has cash in their hand and that they're drunk as hell. Right, right. I actually do want to create moments. But at the same time, I found something kind of weird, and it's that by meeting so many people in that setting where it's like, oh, cool, crazy, what's up? Oh, you guys do this? Chill. And you replay that like 50 plus times, where you exchange the Instagrams, you exchange the names. Maybe it's just me, but it all blurs. Like I will have times where I'm looking at my Instagram and I'm thinking, who was this again? Like how do I make this more memorable? And I'll ask them to send me a picture of the Polaroid, which is good for promoting on social media anyways. But it is kind of put a highlight on like meaning, like people that like actually give you the time of day, that are like listening and that are attentive, because you're gonna run into a lot of just schools of swimming fish that are just going by, and you're not really finding, like, I don't know, like somebody that you're clicking with, like as a friend or maybe more. Like I don't know. That's
like your people, basically.
Yeah, like I would like to say that I'm trying to bring my energy as it is and just hyping them up if I can. And if they vibe with me, they vibe with me.
But you're kind of saying that isn't always your vibe sometimes, like your people.
It's great for the present moment. It is not necessarily building a lot of like longevity, or at least
long-term like connection.
At least maybe I'm just throwing out a net right now and trying to see who like is cool that I vibe with, or maybe it's just the way that it is. It's just like I'm offering something, they paid me, and they're just like, well, this is the dude that I gave money to for this thing, which I think is cool, but I'm not necessarily trying to hang. Like I don't know if there's a quick cutoff to that. But
I guess for you is because you're very creative, so like hiking groups or just where you're kind of getting out there and like exploring a little bit. You had all of those like staffs
Oh yeah.
Crystals. So you've gotten very like creative with different things in your life.
Yeah. For context, I am absolutely a nature nerd as far as it comes to gathering little gems, rocks, anything leafy. Like I'm basically the definition of boho meets a guy. Like I have so many rocks I have not counted, and I like to just. Sometimes when I go somewhere new, especially if it's a new state or somewhere that I just haven't been before, I kind of like looking for a little memento. Will I remember where these mementos come from? No, like not really. There's like a few that stand out.
I like how crazy you are, like in like the best way.
Thank you.
Because some guy called you and was like, hey, sell us for a week. And you're like, sure.
Oh yeah. So that story goes crazier depending on how deep we're plunging into the river.
They have no idea.
They don't know yet. They don't know. This is why we listen. So so the first impulsive part of the story was, I had a friend at 10 p.m. at night say that they were going to Nebraska and they were doing sales. They were literally selling garbage services.
Like a tough sell, right? Is that pretty easy to sell trash bags door to door? Or
I was doing pretty bad. I mean, like,
for context, you're pretty charismatic and outgoing. So if it's tough for you, for the average Joe, or I guess you are Joe.
I am Joe. I am the average Joe,
You're
sort of.
Top tier Joe.
What am I? I'm a top tier Joe.
The barrel Joe. It's gotta be a pretty tough sell.
Nobody can say I'm a top Joe without sounding so conceited. But I mean,
sorry, we'll call you a middle class Joe.
Middle class Joe. That's just average Joe.
We're building up to it.
So yeah, they were telling me about it. I was like, oh, I'm jealous. That sounds so cool. Like, what an opportunity. And they just hit me with, do you want to come with me and to like Nebraska? And I'm like,
and pay ticket too, right? Is it
pay ticket? Which I ended up having to pay for later, which I thought was garbage because they said that they were, they.
Oh man, lawsuit. I don't know.
I still haven't paid them back in full, and I think I'm going to keep it that way. I don't know
if they can really fight you in court for that because they said that they would pay for it, right?
They said that they would pay for it, and then because I had to leave early the trip, because they were hoping that I would be able to be like a team member or something, they said that it would cost. But I was like, that doesn't.
There, I think legally, that's what like endangerment or like entrapment or something we call it.
It was stupid. I did not like that communication method. In fact, saying this out loud, I'm definitely not paying them back.
Sorry, guys.
No.
I like that because you went, and most people would not go on a random trip at 10 p.m. and then go to like Nebraska in the morning.
That was the next. Yeah, it was the next day, and it was not only in the morning. It was like 5:30 in the morning. So I literally had to pack up whatever stuff I was planning on bringing, look at all the ticket coordination stuff, realize I know nothing about Nebraska at all.
It's cold there. It's freezing.
You think cold, and you get to Nebraska and you find out what cold actually means.
For context, we are in Arizona. So our cold is probably even worse than the average person's definition of cold.
Yes, definitely. I think a lot of Arizonians, like once you're like dipping in that 50-degree area, like 60, you're cold.
But you were dipping. Like you were at what, 20 probably?
I mean, I went below freezing a few times.
The whole day knocking on doors.
That was the killer.
And that's like your fists while you're knocking on the door, probably getting kind of tired.
It's your feet. It's your feet that gets cold, dude. I'm talking anytime your feet make contact with the floor or snow or grass or whatever, it's all cold. I literally put hand warmers in my feet. Somebody gave me a free jacket because they said I wasn't warm enough.
Hey, marketing idea.
What's that?
Warmers.
Actually, they do make those. Sorry, you. Yeah, no, I just
use the hand warmers for your feet.
I did. The feet warmers are better. They're just longer.
Weren't you knocking on their door and they gave you like the jacket because they felt sorry for you?
Yeah.
I that part in. We have to add all these random details into the story.
No, it's a good detail to add because you know what's crazy? They were my first sale.
Really?
My
Didn't know
first sale ever. It
And a
was
jacket.
and a jacket, but you know why? It's because those people were really nice. That's why. That's why. That's the only reason. So, here's the thing. I haven't talked about this a lot. When it comes to sales, like everyone says I got this great advantage. Like I'm comfortable talking, I'm comfortable being social, I got this like charismatic energy like you mentioned, right? When it comes to sales, I have so far almost always performed pretty bad. Like I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's because I know that typically the conversation is me fixing it together to get something out of it, you know? And maybe it's that kind of pressure that's put onto the job. Like even when I'm doing the Polaroid thing, I literally ask if they would like a Polaroid to commemorate the moment or if they're chilling, you know? That way I don't feel like there's any pressure on them. And could I like Wolf of Wall Street that? Yeah. I absolutely could take advantage of, you know, the inebriated people or the people that are just like pressured into something. I'm sure that I could figure out the sales tactics, but I think that the perspective of not gypping someone over in some way has always kind of stopped me. And even before that, I mean, to know that I'm in sales mode, I think it changes the way that I interact completely. I wish that I could be selling just what I'm talking about, you know, just instead of, you know, company over here that says, here's your quota that you need to do, and here's the ways that you can get everyone to buy, and here's what you're supposed to say when someone says they don't want it. I don't know. I guess maybe I could be considered a pushover in that way. If someone says they don't want something or if they don't like it, or, you know, if you're not automatically going for this, I'm not trying to twist your arm and, you know, convince you to do something.
Well, for context, our entry into sales was a little bit unusual because Dad, so I think at 16, was it? You were selling door to door, or was it later on in life?
It was earlier, dude. Oh, are you talking like with AOS?
So not counting Taffy, but I'm saying with AOS.
Okay.
I think you were selling pretty early.
I think that was 17.
I think you were 17. So most people aren't starting quite that young, so it was a little weird in that way too.
That's true. I mean, I could just be basing a lot of my experience. I mean, to have one of your first sales experiences be selling solar door to door.
As a 17-year-old.
Dude, I still look like I'm like 19 sometimes to some people.
Phase for sure.
We do. So imagine what I looked like as like, hi, would you like to make a multi-$1,000 investment in solar? By the way, I'm still in high school. Like, like I don't know.
You had the stash for a little bit. You kind of grow in and out. Sometimes that little stash, I did probably like a year or two.
Oh, I absolutely only did that after like 19. I hated facial hair. I mean, I think I've gotten away with some parts of the look, but usually I tried it if my partner was interested in it, and I would be like, okay, I'll try it out.
To clarify, he's not gay.
I am not. No, thank you.
Turn my partner. Yeah. Someone said that phrase, I'm always like, my partner.
I mean, I just say it just simply because it's within multiple people, but yeah, I am not.
If I had a guess for the future, it would be you're gonna have like a creative job / marketing. Because that is like a long-term play. So, because you don't want to scam people over, right? So if you have some sort of brand or people can trust you, then I think you have some sort of that long play. I'm not sure what that would be for you yet, but
I'm not exactly sure either.
Could be with like photography, could be with like having your own clubbing business. I don't know yet, but
that's the thing. I mean, I think that kind of ties it back neatly to the whole finding out yourself thing, because we're just those 20-year-old guys that are figuring out a lot of how life works. You know, I don't know about you. Consciously, it's hard to remember the majority of anything before 14. Like
that, dude. Yes.
Yeah, like
people are always like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, it's just a bundle of memories. Like from 0 years old to 8, I can probably name you a few memories on my hand. I don't have a lot.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, maybe you're getting me counting both hands, but
I don't remember a lot. And even from 8 to like teenage years, it didn't really start for me until probably 12 or 13.
Something that I've been realizing about that recently is we were kind of talking about, like, that development. I realize that from the login on my brain when I'm like, I'm here, right? I'm perceiving all this stuff. Like 14, 15, whatever. I met Monica at, okay. I have been watching more paranormal stuff, so
eerie. There's like a little ghost in here.
I will ask about that later. Tell me to revisit on that, but from like 15 to 22, I was like involved off and on with Monica, and after this recent breakup, I was like wondering why this is still like on my mind, still here, and someone else pointed.
Or no?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
You don't have to.
I mean, it just depends on. I mean, we're just going, right?
We can take this part out.
No. I'm fine talking about it. It's just, I mean, depending on how much I go into it, it's a story, but
you don't need to.
I will give like the summarized kind of just like how it went down. We met in seminary, and that was like 15.
So that's like our like church school, basically. Seminary.
Yeah. Seminary was just LDS.
Yes. Mormon, I guess.
Yeah, Mormon, LDS. All of the above.
Yes.
And you know, we would be sat next to each other, and you know, we definitely had interests that sparked in just kind of time. I've never been someone that's like, let me hit you with my my sweet talk that's gonna be like a one-liner, you know. I'm not swooping in like that. I feel like a lot of people find that invasive. So it was kind of perfect for building over time and just kind of having a natural feel. And you know, like everybody else was seeing it before us, pointing it out that we were like very interested in each other. They were my first prom. They were not my first kiss, but I don't know if y'all knew that.
I think it was Catherine.
No, actually.
Oh, really?
Catherine,
You know what's funny about that, actually? Is
Wow.
I drove you to Catherine's house.
Yeah.
I was the loser in the car. For more context, actually, this has happened twice.
I love how we're giving more context on certain areas and completely leaving.
Drove Jonathan to his first girlfriend's house, Michaela.
That was bold. That was like in the middle of like
So for context, we lived in Mesa. Michaela lived in Maricopa. I drove half an hour because Jonathan couldn't drive yet. I drove him all the way to Maricopa. I sat in the car while they were making out, and then we drove back at like 2 a.m. Sorry, so back to Catherine.
2 a.m.? You waited that long? Man, you are a good brother.
I think the longest was an hour I waited.
Man, that's...
I don't know why I did it, but...
I heard that they were big onto stargazing.
Because
okay, I need to stop doing
house,
that.
We have cameras.
Yeah.
And so Jonathan would like army crawl on the ground at like 1 a.m. Or no, either he would army crawl
or the window.
Or he had that back window. But his bed was covered, so he had to push his bed across the wall, climb outside the window, and then he would put the car in neutral, push it down the street because it was too loud sometimes.
Bro, he
really thought it all through.
The difference between Jonathan and I is I feel like Jonathan and I do similarly pretty chaotic things, but the difference is I feel guilty about it and I would say something to mom and dad.
Care.
No, he did not care.
He got caught because dad had the Live 360 app on his phone.
Bro.
so he could track when he wasn't at church or whatever else.
Oh, I thought you said life 360. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Sorry.
That's smart. Man, that.
So Catherine.
Catherine.
There's a tangent there.
That was all context on Catherine.
Was not your first kiss. There was some other mysterious girl out there.
Can't even remember her. She was like, it was like when I was super young.
My first kiss, I can't tell you her name or what she looked like at all. Zero context.
I know that she had slightly darker skin tone. I think she had curls. She was a neighborhood girl. I'm talking like we were like 9, 10.
Oh, it was young.
Yeah, bro. It was young. I think I'm not really that positive, honestly. It's kind of, but I remember. It was it was in that little green tube in the that little place that's on Sunny Road.
We had that park right by our house at the corner.
Yes, that one right there. We were just like, oh yeah, this is hidden. And I remember being so scared. I was like, someone's gonna find out.
Evelyn, right?
Someone? No, I wish. Bro, no, I met Evelyn later. Found out later that she liked me. I think I probably missed a million signs for that.
To be fair, you had like a streak going. I think from 16 to 18. You had a really good streak going where most girls that met you at least had like a crush on you. At least somewhat, like it wasn't like they liked you maybe, but there's at least something there.
I think that came from our natural just confidence of asking girls out on dates. Like we did doubles all the time.
We did quite a few.
Did you know we actually got quite a name for that? We literally got called the Malan brothers. Oh, go ahead. No.
There was a date. We went swimming.
Oh, I thought about this a couple of days ago.
I brought Riley Moore.
Oh, bro, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Funny. Riley had makeup on, so she didn't want to swim. So it was me and her talking on the steps of the pool. You and Monica were making out
in the pool.
Underwater.
Well, and above water, but yeah, that too.
Less so on top, but me and Riley were talking and watching you guys make out in front of us underwater.
Bro, all I could say is in that moment I had no awareness to anyone else or anything else. I was on top. That was awesome. How many people have done that at that age?
That's true.
Now that I'm here, I will say that must have been so awkward. That must have been
add into that for some more context, at that age, I was pretty awkward. So we added to being awkward, and we were kind of being thrown into swimming. And I think, too, someone pushed Riley into the pool.
Yeah, she did get wet after all.
She wasn't pissed off, which I can understand.
I thought we told them that we were going to the pool, didn't we?
We did, but she wanted to just watch us swim. You know why?
I personally say that is on her.
It wasn't the main attraction. It was the scavenger hunt.
I do remember that.
From place to place.
Yeah, I mean, but still, just tell someone that it's part of the day. It's like why would you, if you tell someone that, oh yeah, we're getting together like in a sports group, but then you bring like a really long dress that you're tripping over. I mean, that's kind of on you for. I mean, yeah, if that's your vibe, I guess, but...
Here's my theory. She was on her period. That's my theory, but I could be wrong.
Very possible, and maybe that's something that she just wouldn't... But I also don't know if it would necessarily show. Do you just mean, like, discomfort-wise, or...?
This might be wrong, but from what I've heard, if you're on your period, for some girls... water, I don't know how it works. Swimming makes it worse. As you can tell, I'm a guy. I don't really know how. Really? I don't know. And these days, you can't be too sure sometimes. But I don't know.
Found that out recently.
So I'm not the most informed man. We'll say that when it comes to.
I think what's safe to say is she made her choice. She made her choice of what she wanted to do, and at the end of the day, I guess I have to respect that. I personally, when I'm going out to different events and things, I'm going to go for the attire or go for the event. and if I'm not, then maybe she's just going with the date, like you said, because it's a scavenger hunt. But I do kind of remember we didn't really plan where we were going on that scavenger hunt. We just kind of said, let's go swimming, and then let's go grab food. Where do you guys want to get food?
I think it was ice cream. We had some ice cream guy. We told him that beforehand. We're coming to your place. Give us like the next
Really?
clue. I think so. I could be lying though.
I personally
Maybe it wasn't planned.
felt less like I had control over that date than other ones. Like,
That was a really chaotic one for sure.
yeah, I did kind of feel like they were unsure of what was happening, and we were kind of as well.
So sorry. So we were going.
If you say Catherine one more time,
Here's my problem. We'll learn how to kind of make the conversation more fluid.
I love flow.
I think we were going. It was your first kiss, which you were talking about Monica.
We said that we were going to be. I said that I was going to be short, but let's be honest, viewers. You, of course, by now know that we will just kind of explore a lot of different topics and then kind of keep going that and revisit as conversations are. So
lots of names and people. We're not gonna give context for it. So.
But as far as Catherine goes, the importance is because she was the very first girl I ever had a crush on.
Really?
Ever that yes.
Lasted a while too. I remember a good 6 months.
Years.
Weren't you guys classmates at Sequoia?
Yeah, we were classmates,
So,
and
years.
in the years that we weren't classmates, I kicked myself. And did I ever make the moves or talk to her or something like that? No. There was one time that I offered to give her a crystal, and she didn't take it immediately, and I handed it to someone else. Bro, I remember that all the time because I was just a little shiny gremlin dude. I was just like, this looks pretty. Do you like it? And you can have it too. And also, I love you. Bro.
You have my baby.
No, I feel like I was doing some kind of those birds that do a dance to try and attract a mate,
Oh, peacocks? No.
There's so many birds.
There are a few birds.
I was just talking about
In general.
Yeah, just the fact that they do it.
You were the bird.
That's a whole nother thing. But sorry, I'm gonna get too sidetracked. I will say that men chase women's attention too much overall.
Yes, because ideally, this is all in theory. You should put yourself first.
Yes.
And then the right person will like that, and then you'll make it work.
I think that there are definitely respectful and good ways to go about showing your interest, but I think a lot of people don't.
What are your best dating tips?
Best dating tips? Well, you can...
Or dating / just love in general.
I think that you are going to get swept away with certain things and certain people, and I think that as long as you are aware of the things that matter to you, be it deal breakers or maybe even preferences, but if you feel like a connection is there, that is far more valuable, I think, than finding someone random and catching them, I'm charming, I got money, I got these things that would make most anybody happy. I think it's really nice when you happen to find someone that likes you and you flow, and you're not necessarily bending over backwards to make that happen. I think that you should have effort. You should definitely show that you care. But I see so many guys it feels like they're spending a lot of their time just looking like Ken from the Barbie movie. Just is Barbie paying attention to me? No, so my true dating advice is get swept away when you are swept away. Make sure that you know the things that you want, because if you don't know what you want and you find out later, you're gonna learn, and that's not bad. You're gonna do that, but you can't just step into relationships just 'cause. Like, I have reserved myself so much, especially reaching out, because I feel like I'm in a very like self-focused, healing post-cheating breakup, by the way, cheated on, and that just means that when you share a space of love with someone, you are almost definitely the person that can hurt them the most. Like, and that has a lot of power to it. So you can't go about it stupidly. You can't go about it just 'cause. You can't just take anything. You have to actually be happy with yourself, or working on yourself, and then happy with them. I think that there's a lot of people that just get into something and they just keep on making it work, and maybe people call that love and like longevity. I don't think it is. I think that there are people that have relationships that have ended that have had truer love than relationships that have lasted a long time, but maybe they're not actually happy together, if that makes sense. I know it might sound confusing because there's like an endurance kind of part of it, but I think that a lot of people need to raise their self-esteem, their self-standards for dating. I mean, I know I'm constantly doing that based off of who I interact with, and you're just going to meet a lot of people, a lot of different kind of energies. I mean, in your dating experience, I'm sure you've found people that you liked for certain periods, and then there was something that just kind of changed it all, right? And you're just like, oh, okay, I realize now I got to let this go and do something with
That's the tough part, is learning to let go, because you trust yourself to find the next best person.
Super hard.
Some people, they latch on because they're scared to be alone, so they're always gonna hold on too tightly.
Yeah.
The things that aren't serving them, maybe.
How do you think your style would be if you would describe it? Do you they usually categorize it into like an avoidant versus an anxious?
We're always biased, because I would say secure, but who's to say if that's actually the truth, right? Because we have our own like blind spots for what we think
of course
we are as a partner or whatever.
I think that sometimes in my interests, like I get super curious with people for sure. I'm like, how do you work? What's your passion in life, or what are the things that you enjoy doing or don't like? And in that process of learning, I feel like maybe I can be a little enamored, a little intense. So maybe that's an anxious attachment.
It's like the rose-colored glasses for a little bit, because you're learning everything and
yeah,
perfect for maybe a little bit.
Well, I'm not even just putting them in a perfect thing, but I don't know, just learning about someone and showing interest in that way. I felt that it's built a lot and then it breaks a lot, because I mean that it depends on who you run to, and maybe I guess that's just the losses of dating, but I don't know. I'm really sick of dealing with like very frustrating heartbreak or new like frustrating limits, and knowing that it's happening to other people too, that like I'm causing pain to them, they're causing pain to me, and it's just making me more selective, I guess. And I want to be open, but I want to be careful. It's
tough because you have these walls, that way next time you won't be hurt in the same way. You have to also let people in to those walls so they can get to know you and love you in that way too.
My definition of trust has been reshaped for sure. I am usually going to be a trust first person. I'm going to just give you my trust and just say that, like, I believe what you're saying and what you're doing and what you go through. But it is definitely really difficult to go back. I thought regaining trust in someone else was kind of like about forgiveness or understanding someone. I don't even think it's about that. I think trust is its own little category of like, I mean, you experience that stuff, like you learn from it. And if that person has taught you a certain lesson, it's kind of hard to rewire that lesson. I mean, there's people that do it though. I mean, with that individual, I wasted some time clutching on to my last relationship because I was thinking that there was a test of forgiveness that was going on for me, and that I would be able to keep the good parts, not completely lose out on my poker hand,
Mm-hmm. Because you have chips on the table. And you feel like if you now drop out of the game, you've wasted that time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so easy afterwards to say that you've learned lessons and that you were that you for a season, and you shared true love for those things. But when you're actually the one deciding that you have to end this relationship because you know that it can't keep going, I think that has always been one of my most particular pains.
But you had the courage to end it.
Yes. Yes. It does take that courage.
Some people have to always be the one that's dumped constantly. They won't be the one to end things ever.
I have not been dumped yet.
So you've always been the one to, love yourself first.
I mean, there's Catherine, going back to her. She, I don't know if you could say we were dating though. I don't think that would be fair.
A real dating, whatever, relationship, it's always been you that chose to end it, which maybe shows you that you at least trust yourself enough to move on.
I do, yeah. I care a lot about how people feel, and I care how I feel. It's just once you start messing with my mental health safety, that's when I know that it's not really working. And this is of course communicated before. It's not like I'm not aware and I'm like, hey, this is burning me out. I'm trying things here. It's got to be a synergy. That's the flow part that I'm talking about. Is you have to give anything that has a flow a chance, even if you're going to end up having to cut it later. Just that classic, you'll never be able to get a win if you're not trying.
Better to have loved than to get to your 70s and not loved once.
It's true. Something that I now fear, funnily enough, finding that love that is lifelong and then ending up like Earl from Up for that little bit of time. I only say that because if the pain and the level of my learning and confusion has brought me here from these multi-year relationships, could you imagine multiple decades of going to sleep and waking up with somebody and learning every wrinkle on their face, and just knowing absolutely every flavor of every food that you love, and the certain art and all, just so many different things of them, and then you have a day that suddenly that's all gone and you don't have that with you anymore. That is now one of my new biggest fears, because I know people can relate to breakups being really hard, really, really difficult on yourself. And I'm sure if I give myself a lot of self-love and growth, I'd be able to survive it. But I think there's a reason why old couples usually follow each other in passing away. I literally think that the grief is heavy. Like it's I mean, it's one of the heaviest things you could probably feel. Like in this life, I mean, contrasting love like that with loss like that, I mean,
'Cause it's so final.
it is. I mean, well, of course, a lot of people vary that depending on your belief, but since I'm
Well, at least-
agnostic,
Regardless of your beliefs, you're here, and maybe for the next 5-10 years, you're not gonna probably like remarry. I mean, you could, but it seems so final if for decades you loved one person.
yeah, I mean, it is very final. I can't even imagine what that would be like, but even so, of course I'm gonna do it. Of course I'm gonna. That's this whole game of life thing is. There's so many experiences to be gained, but nothing is ours to truly like keep forever. Like if you name like anything, money wise or relationship wise or anything, that we don't have the right to just always have it in our life. In one way or another, it can be taken, and that is definitely something I am learning to kind of adapt to and start to enjoy in a way, where I'm able to continue changing into these different experiences and timelines of like living life.
I guess nothing is yours, even like your body.
That's
Gonna die.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you have an unlucky day, trimming some trees or something, you lose a finger. Like, I mean, I've thought about that a little bit, how when we see someone that's lost a finger, usually you're just like, oh wow, that's crazy, or like, oh, that looks a little strange. But if you think about it, for that person, they literally lost like a chunk of themselves. And I think that's the thing that's kind of scary, that like everyone's trying to figure out this answer of life or death, is because that, like you said, we do lose our body eventually, some way, whether it's decades or years or whatever down the road.
Well, humans want to feel certain about
We love
marriage,
feeling certain
about life, about what happens when you die. And so I think for some people have like that idea of like an afterlife is being certain.
It's comforting.
It's comforting because it's nice to know that if you do die, it's not over. Because what kind of game is fun if once you die, the game ends? You want the game to continue to the next round, to round 2.
See, that the way that you phrase that makes it so interesting, because I could also say, what game would be interesting if you did the same thing forever? And if that's
like, if you couldn't die, the game loses its value then.
Yes. But I've heard that a little loop in this, I'm not sure where my belief on this lands, but that we all come from the universe in some way. We are all part of the universe. Like literally whatever carbon and whatever else is in here, someday that gets broken down and somebody eats a little tiny piece of it and bran flakes because it's iron, or I don't know. Right. And then they use that in their body, and for a brief moment that thing is like partly organic. I don't know. But the point is, we all came from something in here, and we're all going to go back to that thing. And like this little theory is that every time that you die, you're actually just experiencing a version of the universe. And like you could just have a new lifeline. You could experience someone else's life, or maybe that it's just a one and done, and then suddenly you're a piece of rock for the next billion years. I don't know. Like,
there's worse things probably than being a rock.
I think that heaven is a really, really, I would love like to have some kind of knowledge in it, I think that there are such a plethora of theories as far as religion goes in general. That is the thing. I just placed myself in this little spot of I don't know for so many areas because it's constantly moving.
What's cool,
it's hard to be grounded.
Is right now you're in the I don't know stage for your career, for dating, for God.
For God, and even living space. Like,
what's kind of cool though is you're 24, and so when you look back on this moment, maybe 20 years from now, a lot of those questions be answered with whatever you decide to do.
That's true.
Like your current phase of life, I think it's cool to be able to not know, but still like enjoy the process of you're figuring things out, but you're still happy and you're going through it.
I mean, like I'm like consciously 7 years old, like.
Right, because if you don't remember the first 14 years, whatever it is, then you're just kind of getting started here.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people take a lot of time to figure out what they're wanting to do. I mean, I hate those people.
I'm like a late bloomer because some people, they have everything mapped out. Like, for example, for context, we have Jonathan. He's our brother. Dude is starting med school next year, and he'll be, I think, 22. I'm like, dang, that's pretty impressive to have.
It is.
Like, your things planned out. But I think we all have our own paths in life, what we're trying to shoot for here, and really just go for.
I have done a lot of thinking about paths of life and like its meaning, because like you hear all the time that like people say, oh, you're not behind, you're not ahead, you're just on your own pace, right? I think Jonathan's pretty ahead. Bro. No, what he's doing is pretty awesome. But what I mean is that little magic piece of the recipe of what this life is actually meant for. Like, is it meant for collecting a bunch of experiences? Is it meant for you to channel into the things that you enjoy, help the people that you can, find a certain religion that is true, and that is your next life, living by those standards. I've found that like in the idea that nothing lasts forever, unless we're talking like in a knowledgeable spiritual sense, it has left me in an extremely present state of mind where I don't always have a lot that's really planned for the future that I have even certain ambitions for, and that can suck sometimes, like not having like a thing, like a plan that you're just like, oh, this would definitely be like future Joseph would love this. I think present Joseph is just figuring out a lot of those things still, and maybe I'll be like one of those famous people that like at 50 I had my masterpiece of something, and I got renowned.
Think about like Harrison Ford. He was, I think, 33
when he had his
Star Wars.
I mean, that's 8 years from now for me.
But we like to have
no way. That's 8 years for you.
Everything planned out right now.
Oh yeah.
And it sucks to say, I don't know, but you just gotta love it. The process.
So here's the thing. Would you want to know how the rest of your life laid out?
That's true. If somebody told you right now, like, hey, you're gonna marry this girl, have this job, you're gonna live here, you're gonna die this way, life would lose that spice, because then
definitely
what's there to solve, because life's already being figured out for you.
That's the thing, is that I think that's the conundrum right there. Humans love curiosity and love surprising, shocking things, but we love being certain. We love having plans, and we love acting like we know everything. But we can't balance those two. We're always exploring into the new, and then we're making up new rules and formulas or opinions and facts, and then later we find out it's something completely different. Rewrite those facts that are no longer facts. and we continue on the process of just, I know that this is absolutely true. Like, this is for sure the way that things work, which is why I think I stay in the present kind of as much as I can, because it is focused on observation, just what I'm running into. But I mean, I love being able to help people with advice of whatever I think I know, but my life trajectory is like completely different than like anybody else's. I mean,
exactly.
Like if you took Joseph that went through divorce, right, at the age of 22, and you put me in a room with mom and dad when they were like, what, 19 and 20, like the same age that I got married, you might think it's natural for me to give my advice of saying that, hey, you guys are really young, it's probably not going to work out, you got to be more careful about this stuff. But it might not be true at all. That's the thing that's infuriating, actually, sometimes with these experiences, is it might not relate at all. And I'm not trying to mansplain. Trust me, enough of the internet has that. But I do care about being helpful. So I guess I could just kind of see where people are at. See, like, if they have questions from my perspective. But really, anything could happen. I did not get married thinking that, the reasons that we got divorced would happen, or just in general. I was nervous about it, of course, but no one gets married
to get divorced.
Yeah. And I think in that way,
maybe in some ways too, no one lives to die.
Well, yeah. I mean, some people get to a point where I think they're just tired, and maybe they just don't want to be scared by the end. I have this fun theory I throw sometimes, that what if like dying is actually comfortable, like picture this. Whenever you're talking death in like movies and stuff like that, I mean, most people are probably thinking like car crash, knife wound, somebody shot you, something like that. Very fear-based, very negative things. But maybe even just statistically looking at like how many people there are, how likely is it maybe that actually people just fall asleep and die, and it's comfy and they're just relaxing. And I've thought about this so much, because obviously we don't want to just die, have life like swept out from the rug from us and not know what happens after. It's natural to be fearful of that. But I think a lot of people villainize death, it's some.
That's interesting. Like, it's the villain.
Yeah, like a lot of people, they either are saying death does not exist and there's an afterlife, or that death absolutely does exist and it only exists in the worst ways you can absolutely imagine. Like, I don't feel like there's a lot of people talking about the middle ground that is, in my mind, pretty likely. I mean, yeah, you never know. Maybe a car crash gets you or something like that. Maybe something like that. I don't know. But I think that there are more possibilities out there than people are thinking. And it brought me comfort for sure, thinking that the thing that most people are afraid of most, it might not be bad.
I guess once you're not afraid to die, then you're ready to live in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's I had to confront that with skydiving.
That's true.
When I decided to skydive, a lot of people would say that that's insane. I heard plenty of parents say, "Oh, I have kids, I would never do that," just in case, right? And I mean, I found out that skydiving was less dangerous than driving a car. And
Really?
yeah. Or at least statistically, maybe that's just because of the number of people driving cars versus the number of people that skydive. It's less. But I think that, if you are always afraid of death or failure or mistakes and things that quite often we are told to be, you're going to do much less exploring, I think. And I think people usually find most of themselves in exploring. Like you're gonna find the things that you don't like and the things that you really like during that exploring phase. Like imagine if we grew up in like medieval times where our family business was cobblers. We were just literally like shoes. The shoe business was what we did, and we just stayed in that workshop, just making shoes for people. That is then like the little bubble of life that we interact people with, and that won't change. And some people, maybe they want that, but I'm willing to bet that there were plenty of like shoe cobbling kids and also kings that wanted to just try something different, doing something that is on your list of, hey, that would be cool to try, and I might have something to lose, but at the end of all of this, I got nothing to lose. Like,
dang, went on that note, dude.
Yeah.
That was the one-liner. If people want to contact you, do you have like socials?
Yeah, I do. I only really use Instagram, and then like I like text most, but
do you know your handle by chance?
I do.
On Instagram?
It's nature_astronaut. That's my handle.
Sweet. So if you want to reach out to him, that's his handle. Thank you. We'll make this part 1 because maybe like 2 years from now we'll like bring you back on the show, kind of see where life's taken you, how things have changed.
I'm sure that future Joseph has a lot of other experiences and things to say. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things have gone so far, and not happy. Things have sucked too, but that is life. I think you got to take all sides of it. So,
well, thank you, bro, for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, man.